To make our pie, we first have to make our pie crust, and we are making a buttery pie crust. For this, you'll be needing 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. You'll also need half a teaspoon each of salt and sugar. You will need 6 tablespoons of cold water. You also need about half a pound of unsalted butter, so that's about 2 sticks. You will need some plastic food wrap to wrap the dough when it's done to be refrigerated. Let's get started. In a large container, add your flour, salt and sugar. Mix these together. Set these aside and let's cut our butter. Mind you, the butter has to be cold and not at room temperature. We will start cutting them into pieces now. Pour the butter into the flour with salt and sugar. And now we are going to add some cold water. So when adding the water, you have to be careful because you don't want to make the dough very sticky when you're molding it later on. Add the water tablespoon by tablespoon. Transfer this onto a clean surface and divide this into 2 and refrigerate it for an hour. On a medium-high heat, melt about a stick of butter. That's about 8 tablespoons of butter. Add 3 tablespoons of flour and stir continuously for about a minute. After a minute, stir in about half a cup of water and 1 cup of sugar. Stir this for 3 minutes. Bring this to a boil while stirring occasionally. After you've achieved a caramelized consistency, take this off the heat and let it cool while we work on our pineapple and apples. Now on to the next step. You're going to need 4 big Granny Smith apples, about this size, 4 of them, and I'm going to peel this pineapple and use about half of it. Add the pineapples to the sliced apples. Add the sauce we made earlier. So on a clean surface, sprinkle some flour for rolling. So we'll take one of the doughs that we made. This has been in the fridge for an hour. So roll this to about like a 12-inch circle. Now I'm going to perforate some holes underneath. This will help heat to penetrate so that the inside will be cooked. Let's set this aside and roll the next dough. So the idea for this is to make a lattice on top of the pie. Now fill your pie with all the awesome goodness that we made. So now you can use a pizza cutter to cut these into even thickness strips, okay? So take one of the longest strips somewhere in the middle. Oh, this is really long, but don't worry, we are going to tuck it in after and place it in the middle. So put a few strips in one direction across. I couldn't film this on camera, but I can show you how I got this lattice. My battery was low and I'm sorry about that. So I put 6 strips, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going in the same direction. And then what I did was I peeled this one and that one, and I put a long one underneath and then put it back. And then I peeled these two and I put this underneath and put it back. So I sort of alternate. I did that, and I did same on the other ends. Break 1 egg and whisk with 1 tablespoon of sugar for an egg wash. Bake this for 15 minutes on 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So after 15 minutes, reduce the temperature back to 350. This turned out really delicious and crusty, and having the pumpkin pie ice cream on the side, oh my god, added to the mix. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe, and let's be friends. See you next time. Thank you.